Hey folks, Gab here. I just launched my message testing starter pack, and a part of that starter pack is the phase two, the testing infrastructure. So, because I just launched it, I want to show you exactly how I'm doing my message testing myself for that message testing offer. I know it's a bit meta, but bear with me, it's going to be interesting. Okay, so the first thing here is I did a study on messaging and message testing over, I think, 62 product marketers. And based on that, it gave me a validation or a signal that, okay, so message testing is actually a problem that a lot of product marketers are dealing with. So I decided to create a resource on it that I just launched. And I'm talking about my point of view that it's the most expensive part of my go to market. And based on that, what I did is I got a lot of interesting reaction because I launched, again, a huge playbook out of it. And this playbook is giving me a lot of visits on Microsoft Clarity, which is what we're going to be covering now. So Microsoft Clarity is basically like a Java tree. That's the best way I can describe it. And I'm using it to understand, okay, how does my messaging kind of work right now in from a behavioral web analysis? Are people rage clicking? Is there dead clicks all around? Is there excessive scrolling? Are they going back to specific section? So we're going to kind of break it down together, and we're going to be filling out this section of the workbook, the page two testing data, but I'm going to be walking you step by step over everything. So let's get started. So this is the website, the landing page I created with Card. You can use Gamma, you can use whatever you want, but this is very simple and low tech to create that. I have the category here. I have the value prop. I have the problem. I have a visual from the survey I did, and I have my call to action, which is bringing me to another page where you can add your emails and get the resource ultimately. But when we go into Microsoft Clarity, right, the first thing you should take a look at is going into settings, masking, and this is when you should be able to see that the tasks is not masked. This is good because then you can understand which part of your copy, of your messaging, of the problem, or whatever else makes sense. So that's the first thing. Then when you go into dashboard, you can set up smart events. I'm not sure if this one is true or if it's broken because when I created this, it's just giving me basically that part here. I'm adding this specific URL, which to me count as a conversion. So I have like 32 session, but when I go into Beehive, I have 234 people that subscribe. So the first thing to add is usually the call to action click rate. In that case, what we can do is just take a look at the number of sessions from Microsoft Clarity, 501, and in that case, it's 435 unique users. Um, and then what we'll do is we'll just take that and we'll basically see, okay, how many of those 435 ultimately added their stuff to become 234. I just calculated and it's giving me, I think, 53 and 79%. So here we have 54%. Again, it's not really call to action click rate because those are technically conversions. All of those people are enrolled in my sequence, but we have 435 unique users. So this is very high, but at the same time, it really depends on the offer, right? If it's a lead magnet, in that case, people are expecting to go through it. If it's a page that people have intent, like in that case, they commented, the call to action click rate will be very high. So in that case, I could say, okay, well, maybe the target I'm trying to shoot for is 60. So hopefully with more and more people, I can maybe improve that. So that's the first thing. Then we can take a look at dead clicks. So dead clicks in that case are people that click on a page with no effect. And I have 45 sessions that I can kind of take a look at. And we can cover that later, but it's basically, in that case, I have 8.81 sessions, and usually we try to keep it under 5%. So this is something I should take a look at. So I'll just add 8.81%. And now we're going to be looking at why is that. So here I added the dead click. So when I go into Microsoft Clarity, I can see that I have 46 sessions and I can click here to directly go into the filter. And then I can basically play with it a little bit. So, okay, coming from Google, so not from LinkedIn. So I can just basically play a little bit around it. but I can also click here, which will summarize the top 10 recordings. And it's telling me, okay, some user clicks on the get message testing button, reach email conversion page. Some user experience that click while interacting on the website. I'm able to click here and I can see basically the event of what happened. Again, because we changed the setting at the beginning, we're able to see it. We can see where they clicked. And it's telling us directly where. So they clicked right here. At the bottom, so we can kind of use that a little bit to understand, okay, was there anything that could be improved? And you can play with it a little bit. Let's see here, 2 clicks. They click on the image. So maybe I should add a link to the image or something. There's something else too. And like this could be directly linked to the resource, but by doing it, uh, it might again just go over a conversion. So this is telling you some stuff about the user behavior. Is there stuff that can improve? So in that case, what I can do is I can keep going through it and see if there is anything that is out of the ordinary. So I think I analyzed some of them, and when people were going into uh, right here, only 25% of product marketers have a structured process to test their messaging. When clicking on it, nothing happened. But this is from uh, this micro survey I did. So what I can do to make it simpler is I can just take a link on that and basically add the URL here. So when people click on it, they can directly access the survey, which is something I'm going to be doing right now to reduce and improve the clarity. So that's that for the dead click. So we're almost done here, but basically what I did is I added the scroll depth easily accessible from the dashboard, the time on page as well. When you already have a landing page that is live, you have your baseline, you have your current and then your target. In that case, this page didn't really had any traffic before that launch. So I'm directly coming with the current, and then I can kind of improve it. So the call to action click rate can be to 50. The dead click can be improved. So I'll be working on that because some part might be confusing. And then the only part remaining is like the hesitation rate. So quick back rate, rage click, this is good. The hesitation rate is a bit more complicated. It's not like it's just giving you the number. What I like to do is I go on heat map and I click on attention, and then you can click to summarize heat maps. So it's telling you, for example, mobile users have significant engagement by the call to action, but I might considering optimizing or clarifying to become the subject matter expert of messaging. So we know that when I click on that, I'm able to see exactly which section it's talking about right here, which on the website, again, sometimes it doesn't work, but on the website, it's telling me, okay, so people are clicking on it. On the hesitation rate, I can basically take a look and try to understand, okay, well, is there a way when the attention can be calculated in terms of the overall visits? And to do that, I can basically save that as a segment. So how many people visit that URL, save a segment, you can save a new segment. And then in that case, I'll be able to provide. So I won't do it now, but in that case, we can maybe tell, okay, well, if there's 18 clicks over the last 3 days in that specific section, maybe there's a 6.34% of people that are confused about it. So I'll just put 6.34%. Of course, make sure you always have the data and that it's making sense. But now that we have that, we understand, okay, well, it's not too bad. People are understanding the messaging. We have some uplift achieved. I need to work on the dead clicks. And on the side, I'm also running a LinkedIn campaign for the outbound messaging. So it can help me. Well, are we doing the right stuff? Does it work? So that's the part about Microsoft Clarity that I think is very useful. We're able to understand how are people reacting. We're able to see where the attention is. You can play out with that heat map. It's free. So hopefully with that, you'll get a good understanding of how to kind of use that with your testing process with your messaging. So that's about it. If you have any question, please, there's a feedback form on the resource. And if you haven't downloaded it yet, go to message-market-fit.com and you'll be able to download the resource and try it for yourself. So thank you very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.